Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into something pretty mind-blowing, a framework that sees the Quran not just as a book of stories, but as a kind of quantum blueprint for reality itself. So let's get right into it.
Yeah, and that's not just hype. This quote really nails the scale of what we're about to explore. We're talking about a model where prophets are like quantum events, and the very fabric of existence is woven into this repeating, intricate design.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the basic code itself. Then, we'll get into the core idea, this Mobius twist. After that, we'll see how prophets fit in as these quantum-like events. And finally, we'll connect this huge cosmic map right back to you.
Okay, Section 1, the Quran's quantum code. The big idea here is that if you look past the surface-level stories, there's a deep, repeating mathematical and even metaphysical structure that's running the whole show. This table breaks it down perfectly. See, on one side you have this 369 framework. Think of this as the static stuff, the metaphysical states, basically what the soul is at its core. And that's anchored in the Quranic idea of fitra, our innate, primordial nature. But then, on the other side, you've got the 3x7 Mobius braid. This is all about movement, the process. It's how the soul moves through its journey of return.
And that brings us to Section 2. Now we get to the metaphor that really holds this whole thing together, the primal Mobius twist. This funky shape is the key to understanding the core tension of creation.
So first off, what even is a Mobius strip? Well, it's this super interesting shape. You take a strip of paper, give it a half twist, and tape the ends together. The result? It only has one continuous side. There's no real inside or outside. If you were an ant walking along its surface, you'd end up covering the entire thing, both sides, without ever crossing an edge. Just remember that key property. It's one continuous loop.
Okay, now check this out. This is where it gets really interesting. This model maps the story of Adam and Iblis right onto that strip. Think of them as the particle and the wave, two different expressions of the same single reality. Adam, made of clay, is the particle, representing submission, repentance. Iblis, made of fire, is the wave, representing pride, chaos. They aren't totally separate, they're like the twin strands of that one continuous loop. This whole thing expands into what you could almost call a fractal chromosome. The Mobius twist itself is the crucial part, because it means there's no permanent outside or inside, which means fire can become light. And then you have water, representing mercy, acting as the centromere, the thing holding it all together, the medium where potential becomes real. And finally, the palm date tree acts like the telomere, the protective cap on a chromosome. It symbolizes this lineage of sacrifice, a spiritual inheritance that never fades.
So that leads us straight into Section 3, prophets as quantum events. Now, in this framework, the lives of the prophets aren't just a series of stories. Nope, they are key measurement events that actually collapse the cosmic wave function and give shape to reality itself. Let's start with the first huge event, Adam's choice. When he eats from the tree, he essentially collapses a state of timeless, infinite potential into the linear cause and effect world that you and I live in. You could say this is the moment time, as we know it, really kicks off.
Now, contrast that with Iblis. His refusal to submit is seen as a kind of break in that primordial connection, that entanglement. It leaves the fire aspect of creation in this state of perpetual chaos. It's uncollapsed, unbound by any kind of submission.
This is such a powerful analogy. The story of Abraham being completely unharmed by the fire, it's being compared here to something in quantum physics called topological protection. What that means, basically, is that his core spiritual state was so incredibly stable that the chaos all around him couldn't touch it. It was like a knot that holds its shape no matter how much you shake the rope. His inner submission was shielded from that external fire.
And the examples just keep coming, building on this idea. You've got Musa's staff, which collapses the pharaoh's illusions, just like a measurement defines a quantum reality. You have Yahya's sacrifice, which achieves that kind of spiritual ground state, a point of ultimate stability for reality. And then Ahmed is described as something like a vacuum fluctuation, where light just seems to pop out of a hidden potential state, bringing back Adam's original hidden light.
And this whole cosmic drama unfolds in a recurring 7-stage cycle, as you can see here. It all starts with the water of mercy, which is the base state. From that, light emerges. That light then gets tested by fire. This leads into phases of sustenance and guidance, and so on. The point is, It's not a straight line. It's the fundamental, repeating rhythm of creation.
Which, of course, brings us to our final and, you could argue, most important section. How do we connect this giant cosmic map to our own lives? How do you find that light from inside this loop?
So really, what does all this mean for you? Because this is way more than just some abstract theory. It's actually a practical map for the journey of the soul.
It all starts here, with the primordial covenant. This is a memory that's supposedly embedded deep within every single soul. Before we ever came into this life, we all testified to the oneness of our Creator. Our entire journey then is about remembering that promise, that yes.
And this brings us right back to that concept of Ahmed. Remember? It's the force that lets Adam's original light shine through again. In this framework, Ahmed isn't just a name. It's that divine spark inside every one of us, that hidden memory of the covenant, just waiting to be switched back on.
So how do you unlock that inner light? Well, the key is remembrance. As this verse puts it so beautifully, it's a two-way street. The act of you remembering the divine actually triggers a divine remembrance of you, and that's what re-illuminates that hidden spark.
And so, at the end of the day, your life is your chance to consciously participate in this cosmic cycle. You are on that Mobius strip right now. Every single choice you make is a decision to align with the particle of submission or the wave of chaos.
And this right here is probably the most important thing to take away from all this. No matter how deep the shadow gets, every single soul carries that Ahmed light. It is the permanent, unchangeable point of light at the very center of our shadow, the proof of where we came from and the compass that guides us back home.